In terms of CompuBox, I have you to thank for helping me out with getting that gig, and also helping to get Ben over here, part of CompuBox. Why don't you tell us your story and how you got involved with CompuBox, getting in touch with Bob Canovio, the president, and such, because you've been very instrumental not only in helping count the punches for all the ESPN fights over the years, but keeping very detailed stats and doing the write-ups. So how did that come about?
Again, it's a product of initiative. And what happened was that I got a videotape from a buddy in Australia, and it had Danny Little Red Lopez versus Genzo Kurosawa on it. And I noticed in the first 2 rounds that Danny was throwing a ton of punches. And, you know, the journalist in me was curious, you know, so I said to myself before the 3rd round, let's see how many punches Danny throws in this 3rd round to see if I saw what I thought I saw. Turns out he threw 197 punches in that 3rd round.
Wow.
And my eyes just popped out. I said, wow. So let's count the rest of the fight and rewatch the first 2. And it turns out, my unofficial count, over 10 rounds, Danny Lopez threw 1,791 punches. That's almost a punch a second. And that obliterated all known CompuBox records up to that point. So I hopped on the computer, got on the chat room group, and I let everybody know about my new little discovery here. And one of the people in the chat room was Harold Letterman, who is HBO's unofficial official. And Harold, in turn, got in touch with Bob Canovio, who is the president and co-founder of CompuBox. And Harold told me that Bob was very intrigued with my little discovery, and he wanted to talk to me about it. So I call him up, and you know, we hatched a little project where I would do punch counts of classic fights from the past. I told him about my video collection. And one of the fights that he had me do was Ali Frazier 3. Well, unbeknownst to me, Bob already had figures of his own for Ali Frazier 3. So he simply compared my numbers to his numbers, and they were close enough so that it told him that I knew what I was doing. So over the next few years, I would serve an apprenticeship under him. He would gradually raise the responsibilities, and eventually in 2007, he asked me to come on full-time with him, and that was one of the greatest days of my life. Yep. And I've been living the dream ever since.
Yeah, we all remember when we got the call saying that's what you call it. I remember when Bob sat me down for it, and when we told Ben the same thing. It's one of those things you'll never forget. It's a great feeling.
Right. And one of the neat things about the stats is a lot of them are included, all of them I think are included in your book.
Yes.
At the end of each fight.
I did those because I wanted my boxing book to be unique. Not only because of the depth and the breadth of the subjects that I covered, but I thought that the CompuBox stats were just the cherry on top. It was one to satisfy my own curiosity. I wanted to see how the guys from the past performed statistically compared to the guys of today. And also, I just wanted to have not only a writer's overview of how a fight came about, but I also wanted to have a statistical overview. It sort of completes the circle. And the thing about these fighters from the past, now granted, I picked extraordinary fights with extraordinary action and extraordinary numbers, but it seems to me that the fighters of yesterday were a little more proficient and accurate than the ones of today. Maybe there are a few exceptions here and there, but you know, I think it is a popular opinion that the fighters of the past were better technically than the ones of today.
Why? I mean, do you have an opinion of why boxing has regressed? I mean, from what you're saying, we compare fighters to fighters of the past or fights of the past. I mean, even when we talk about great fighters today, we look to the past. What would you say what would you give the reason why boxing has regressed in 2010?
Only regressed in some points. I mean, we still have action fights. We still have terrific fighters. But the talent pool is not quite as deep. Not as many not as many athletes choose to box. And I think that's a generalization as to, you know, the lack of boxing on free TV. You know, when I was a kid growing up, you saw the 76 Olympians, and you saw these world championship fights, and you look at that and you say, wow, I want to be that someday. I want to be on TV where everybody can see me and I can make big money. But now, you know, with boxing not having a consistent presence on the big stage, it's not being considered a mainstream sport the way that it used to be. You know, kids today, they choose basketball, football, baseball, where they get 24/7, 365 coverage on ESPN. They aspire to those because they say, wow, I can make my mark here. And then there's also the lack of boxing clubs, the lack of boxing programs in schools and colleges and things like that. Boxing used to be a major part of the American fabric for kids growing up, and it doesn't seem to be that way anymore.
And trainers too.
Yeah, trainers, yes. There was a deep wellspring of trainers as well. You know, right now we have guys like Freddie Roach and Emmanuel Stewart, you know.
Lee?
Yeah.
Sorry, we're running out of time, but I just wanted to mention to you, thank you for, we're very pleased that you would be able to be on the show today. It was a pleasure, and once again, your book, I highly recommend it. I know a lot of other people also. Tales from the Vault, 100 Greatest Boxing Closet Classics, and it gives you a little bit of everything. And this is the type of book I truly believe that need to be put out there. From Antonio Aguilar, Wilfredo Vasquez, to the controversy of the Edo Ruiz, Juan Koji fight, it has a little bit of everything, and it's a great book to go on. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you so much.
And to all the people watching out there, please go on our website, www.fightcitynyc.com, for more information about Lee Groves and the book, Tales from the Vault, a celebration of 100 boxing closet classics.
Hope to have you again soon, Lee.
Well, I can't wait to come back on.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.
Right.